and welcome. We are so glad that you are joining us here today. I am joined today by Miss Dawn Garrett, who is our customer service manager, community manager here at Homeschool Better Together. Dawn, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks. I always like to come and chat with you, and we always have fun.
Yeah, we do. And it's great to have you back because for so long I was doing like solo podcasts, and it's like really nice to have somebody to talk to again. Yay. Today we are talking about, we have a little tongue-in-cheek kind of title for you, and we're going to explain why we landed on that title, though I'm going to say it was accidental. And then Dawn pointed out, oh, yes, this is the title that we need. Because at first when I suggested it, it was like a working title, but it is 5 reasons not to do a Christmas Carol in your homeschool this year. And we'll tell you why that ended up being the real title in just a few minutes. But let me give you a little bit of background. So A Christmas Carol is our gift to you. Not that we wrote it. We can't take credit for that. That would Charles Dickens, right? But every year, the Homeschool Better Together team puts together a gift for homeschoolers out there. And we've done our Advent morning time plans in the past and our Christmas tradition morning time plans. We've got a couple of different explorations. Help me out, Dawn.
Traditions from around the world we've given away.
Yeah, the around the world Christmas around the world explorations. That's what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And then we have another kind of Christmas traditions exploration. We're really big on those traditions.
Like the Advent ones are about the Handel's Messiah and
the Nativity.
And the Christmas traditions are really fun with the Nutcracker. So we've always had a theme to center around our Christmas gift.
And then this year we decided we were really going all in on a single work, and we decided on A Christmas Carol. And so this is going to be our gift to you this year. You're going to be able to come and just download for free, pambarnhill.com/Christmas, our Christmas Carol explorations. And they're going to take you through the Christmas season with your Christmas school, whatever it is you're wanting to do with your Christmas school. This is just a resource that you could use and so much fun. So we're going to give you 5 reasons not to do A Christmas Carol in your homeschool this year. We're going to convince you. We're giving you this free gift, but you don't need it. You don't need to do these. All right. So let's talk about the first one. And the first reason, Dawn, is what?
It's all your fault. It's all because Pam does not like A Christmas Carol or didn't like A Christmas Carol.
Okay. So let's explain. Yes, you should do A Christmas Carol because Pam doesn't like it. So some of you may be listeners of the Scully Sisters podcast. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, I highly recommend that you go over and listen to that podcast. It is fabulous for homeschool moms. And I was on that podcast, years ago, right? I was one of the founding members of that particular podcast. And we did an episode that I'm really ashamed of now.
It's episode number 46. If you would like to go find it at Scully Sisters.
We'll link it for you in the description and the show notes and all of the places. And so basically in the episode, Misty Winkler and I gang up on Brandy Vinsel. So Brandy Vinsel loved A Christmas Carol. She loved it, read it with her kids every single year. And another fun Christmas episode for you. We're just going to link a lot of Christmas episodes for you in this one because we've got Don't Be the White Witch, which I did with Scully Sisters, but also
fantastic.
A manners episode that Brandy and I did a few years ago on the Your Morning Basket podcast, all about how to teach your kid Christmas manners, which we all know that we need to do. But anyway, so Misty and I decided we were going to basically rain on Brandy's parade we read A Christmas Carol. We decided to get together and talk about it. And I'm just going to say now, it's Charlotte Mason who says that you have to be humble to be taught.
That's true.
So
yes, that's absolutely the case.
Yes. So I humbled myself when it came to A Christmas Carol, and I allowed myself to be taught because I was just like, there's no real Christmas in here. This is just all about Scrooge pulling himself up by his bootstraps, and it's like self-help kind of stuff. And I don't know. I was really down on, I'm gonna blame Misty. Like, I got caught up in the peer pressure and just went along with her.
I
And
just figured it was you anti-Feely people didn't like the Christmas Carol because my husband also dislikes A Christmas Carol.
yes,
But
but
we'll
your
get into that
husband
later.
dislikes anything British. I don't know what the opposite of an Anglophile is, but that is your husband, right? He
That's
doesn't
true.
even like Pride and Prejudice. But yeah, and so I don't know. Maybe it was because I had only ever been exposed to the secular versions
Mhm.
of A Christmas Carol. And then after the podcast aired, one of our beautiful, wonderful community members, and I never can remember who. Community members do great stuff for us all the time.
They do.
And I never can remember names. Sorry. You know who you are. She sent me a video from Anthony Esselin, who we just love.
They
And
do.
now this is where the name of this podcast comes from, because Anthony Esselin wrote 10 Ways to Destroy the Imagination of Your Child, which is one of the books that Dawn and I read together years ago.
Yeah. A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we got the name of the podcast from. Dawn was like, oh, we have to call it this because of Anthony Esselin's book. But anyway, I digress. So she sent me this video by Dr. Esselin, and basically in there, he just explains that you cannot read the Christmas Carol without reading it through the lens of the gospel. And as I listened to him talk about it, I'm like, you are so wrong. So I'm just saying it right here. I'm eating crow, Christmas crow. I was so wrong about A Christmas Carol.
You can have your pie in the corner and stick in your thumb. Yes, and we will link that video also in the show notes. It is fantastic. I watched it in preparation for this, and I was like, I, like Brandy, already loved A Christmas Carol. And when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, that part. Because I also re-listened to it.
Yeah.
Dr. Esselin is brilliant.
He is brilliant. He is brilliant. And then when he started pointing all the things out about the rebirth of Scrooge and becoming childlike to be able to enter the kingdom of heaven, and just who the different characters represented in A Christmas Carol, and just this whole idea, the whole Christmas Carol is the God rest ye merry gentlemen. I was like, yeah, okay, you were so wrong. So I was wrong. I was wrong, and I owe Brandy Venzel an apology. Brandy, this is your public apology. I probably should Voxer her and let her know.
Well, we should at least tell her it's out there, right?
Yes. Let her know that the public apology is out there. But yeah, there's so much in here. Now, we want to stress, if you are going to do A Christmas Carol, and we really hope that you are, with your children, that you don't want to beat them over the head with all of these things. So talk to that for just a minute, Dawn.
That's actually part of what Dr. Esselin talks about, is how entering into A Christmas Carol, and I think entering into it when you're a child, reading it aloud with your family will be better than coming to it later. But reading it actually helps to baptize your imagination. It helps you to see more clearly what is going on in other classic works, because you have this foundational peek into something that's greater than our material world. It's a spiritual world. It's above and the supernatural, above and beyond what we see and touch. There's the seeing and touching in it too, which is, I think, what's amazing is Scrooge sees and touches graves and his bed, and he sees the things that he did as a child and the things that he did as a young man. It's all there.
Yeah, it really is. But don't feel like you've got to say, okay, children, now do you see how Tiny Tim is a savior figure? Don't do that. Just read the story and enjoy it with your kids. That's what you want to do. And they will begin to pick up on those things. You can ask some questions, not who leading, but you can ask some questions. Does this remind you of something else? Have you seen this somewhere else? Does this remind you of the gospel in any way? But I think that's probably about as far as you go.
Yeah, leave the mind blown, oh my goodness, it all comes together for them as adults. I think that is also a really good thing, because we can understand on one level as a child, but then on a different level as an adult. And that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Okay. So we got the hard part out of the way. See, that's why we had to do that part first. Not just so we could explain the name, but so I could eat the crow. So that is the first reason you should not do A Christmas Carol with your kids this year. And now the second reason that you shouldn't do the Christmas Carol with your kids this year is that it's just completely overdone. It's been done everywhere. Everybody does it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So my husband is an anti-Anglophile, but this is actually his reason for disliking the Christmas Carol is that it's just everywhere and you cannot get away from it. It's in all the movies. You've got all the different movies going on out there. You've got Scrooged and you have like retellings from, on the Hallmark Channel where it's Ebby Scrooge and it's a female. We go to the Ohio Village and they have a Dickens of a Christmas and they have Scrooge characters and ghosts wandering about the historical village where you could take your kids to see what life was like in the 1800s. And everywhere you go is A Christmas Carol and you cannot get away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that to be true too. Okay. So let's talk about this for just a second. Do you think, first of all, the reason it's everywhere is because it is such a timeless, endearing story, right? 100%. Like there is truth there, whether the secular world wants to admit it or not, or whether they try to hide it or couch it in the kind of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps or like just becoming a better person. And one of the things I love that Dr. Estlin said in his talk was he asked a secular person, they're singing about joy. Where is your joy? And so the truths of this come shining through. And I think that's why one of the reasons that it is everywhere. It is so enduring. And I also think endearing to people. But what do you say about some of these more secular versions of it? Do they have like where they take it and they make Scrooge a different character? They make Scrooge a woman, or there's the old Bill Murray movie Scrooged, which I would not recommend for anybody.
No.
Like
we watched it for the first time last year and
like definitely an adult movie. Yeah, maybe. We don't even necessarily recommend it at all. I'm trying to think of some other adaptations. There's like the Patrick Stewart one single person play of A Christmas Carol.
That sounds amazing.
Are all of those kind of interpretations to be avoided altogether? I don't know. I don't know enough about them. Scrooged, probably for sure.
Yeah. I suppose I don't entirely see how they can take the bones out of what makes the Christmas Carol, because it is going back. And as I re-listened to it, I just heard at the very end, he goes to church before he goes and does the things. And he and Tiny Tim and his dad go to church. I like to go to church so that they see me and maybe they'll think about the man who made the lame to walk. There are just little key moments all throughout that make you think. And if you pull all of those out, I don't think you have the story, even if it is the three ghosts. The three ghosts are doing the work of examining a life. And we haven't examined life in the Christian faith. So I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
Definitely not with younger kids for sure. But there are some fabulous versions out there. There are a number of great picture book versions, which we do include. We recommend those in the plans. We've picked out some of the best ones for you. And then, of course, the Merry Beggars did one kind of as a radio show in the past couple of years. That was one that a number of people in our community had recommended and listened to. And I think you sign up for free and we'll get the link for you on their website and they send it to you. I don't know if the Patrick Stewart version is available, but the Tim Curry reads the audiobook.
Oh, so, and that's the one I listened to, and he is amazing. Yes.
And he's definitely a secular actor, been in secular things, but he is simply reading the audiobook. So this is a wonderful version, but it has been done so many times. And this brings us to the third reason you might not want to do A Christmas Carol in your homeschool. And it is because the absolute best, top-notch, most true to the story adaptation is done by
The Muppets. I love the Muppets. I said it like that to make it sound like you shouldn't watch it, but I love the Muppets in general, and I love the Muppets Christmas Carol.
The Muppets Christmas Carol is absolutely the best, the most awesome. Yes, 100%, hands down, my favorite version to watch.
But when I imagine the Ghost of Christmas Present, it is the Muppet.
Yeah, so 100%. So, yeah, I think, oh gosh, I can't even think of when that came out. It had to have been more than 20 years ago, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would think it's in the 90s, probably. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yes, I love the Christmas Carol.
And it is the one that sticks closest of all of the. Now, obviously, somebody reading the audiobook is going to be reading the audiobook. But as far as movie adaptations go, it is the one that sticks closest to Dickens' actual text. And so that's a really great one. And then it just has the added benefit that kids love it because it's the Muppets.
Yes. And in some of the movies, I think the ghosts can be really scary. Marley at the beginning can be really scary, and the surrounding ghosts when Marley leaves. But when they're the Muppets, they're not nearly as frightening. And so kids can really enjoy participating. And even your kids who are tenderhearted and easily frightened, they can manage the Muppets, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then it's bright, it's colorful. There's a lot of stuff going on. You have the Cratchit family is pigs
and frogs.
It's great. I love it. I just love it so much. So yeah, this is actually definitely a plus in our book. Okay.
Yes.
The fourth reason you might not want to do a Christmas Carol this year is you don't want your kids to enjoy great classics, great stories.
Yeah. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but it is one of those entry points. It does draw on fairy tales and mythology and the Bible and all of those foundational it's a short book. It's really easy to listen to in 3 hours. So when you're driving around in your car, it can be on. You have a captive audience. Keeps the kids quiet in the car. That's also a benefit at Christmas time. But it is a really good entry point into the classics, especially as you have kids who are getting older. And it's a great starting point if you want to read more Dickens, which I recommend.
Yeah, it is a good starting point to Dickens for sure, which he's not always the easiest read. And I think you touched upon something there that is so valuable for homeschoolers. And that is put this on in your car as you're driving around in November and December and you're running errands and, you're heading back and forth for those last few weeks of co-op, or you're doing some Christmas shopping or something like that, or you're traveling to grandma's for Thanksgiving, or you're traveling home from grandma's, and put this on in your car and use one of those, either like the Merry Beggars. That one is like a radio show. So there are sound effects and there are different actors reading the different voices, or like a Tim Curry, where you have this professional actor who is doing the story in ways that I, as just a mom, don't have those voice talents. And so this is going to be the easy way to do it. And if you're at home, if you're like, geez, we're not going anywhere, then have your kids color, have them play with Christmas Play-Doh, have them put together a puzzle, have them do something with their hands while they're listening to this story. Serve them hot chocolate.
Decorate cookies.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's all those fun things. And if you, like me, we always drive a lot around December. If you need another audiobook to follow along, can I recommend The Best Christmas Pageant Ever audiobook? It is also excellent. And go over and take a look at our Language Arts Together plans for The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Yes. And actually, I know this episode is coming out in early November. Dawn's telling you go over and look. You can't see them right now, but on Black Friday, they are available for free with any other purchase in the shop. So this is like another gift. This is like a double bonus gift episode, because if you come and shop with us on Black Friday, we will be adding Best Christmas Pageant Ever language arts together to your order just for buying anything during the whole Black Friday sale period. Yeah.
I think those two audiobooks pair well together because the stories are similar enough that you can make a lot of comparisons for how people are treating one another and thinking about other people who are around them. And those are just parts of Christmas at my house. I always do both.
Yeah. Okay. And so then I have to say, I have not seen this movie yet. I do not know how it's going to turn out. But Dallas Jenkins, who is the director of The Chosen, which is one of Pam's favorite series, he is doing Best Christmas Pageant Ever as a brand new movie this year. He was so excited for the project. And I can remember it was last year. We were driving around in the car one day, and I can't remember. They just announced it on the radio, or it was a podcast we were listening to or something like that. Thomas was in the car with me. He was so excited. All of my kids are so excited to see because Best Christmas Pageant Ever is one of our favorite Christmas books. Mm-hmm. So, yay.
I've seen the trailers, and it looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah. So this is definitely one we're going to be hitting in the movie theater. And we don't go to the movie theater for much. I'm not going to lie.
Us either. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So. We got off topic, but yes, great entry. We have to talk about all the Christmas things. Great entry into the classics with your kids. Okay. So the last reason you should not do a Christmas Carol with your kids this year is because we're just making it so easy on you to do it. And we know you don't like easy. We know homeschool moms just want to make everything as hard as possible. Actually, there's some truth to that statement. But this year, we are 100% making it so easy for you to do a Christmas Carol with your kids. The explorations, they have art, they have music. We have some wonderful book recommendations. We have some fabulous crafts and all different kinds of things. And we have an opportunity to upgrade for a very small fee to our entire Camp Christmas experience, which includes a number of different craft videos and our voyages as well, which allows you to, if you're feeling the need, check the boxes for history and science. And I believe maybe not so much science, because Lady and I had these big conversations about the voyages for Christmas Carol. She's Pam, there's just no science here. Like, we could study geese and ducks, but I'm not sure. And I'm like, no, like, we're not going to stretch that far for connections for this. And so stewardship is actually what she included. So it has some history, a little bit of geography, and it has stewardship in there as well. So those are the voyages, and that's the additional add-on purchase. But we're going to make you a very special offer on that part. But the explorations are free.
And you get the Christmas planner that we have.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I used that last year, and it was so helpful to me because I didn't want to do all the things at Christmas time. So that was helpful to pare down and make it a little bit more relaxing.
Yeah. So paring it down. And I love that little Christmas. I'd forgotten about that. We added that one last year. So great. Camp Christmas includes that Christmas planner, some video activities that you could just turn on for your kids while you are doing other things during the Christmas season. We do have a live event that you can come to as part of Camp Christmas where we kick off the Christmas season. Haven't planned it out yet because we're recording this in October, but I will it'll be fun, I promise. And then also those voyages that go along with the Christmas Carol. So you can do the free level Christmas explorations. We've made it so easy just to bring some delight to your school day, or you can add on for $10 extra and get all the other stuff as well. And we would just love to have you join us in any way. And I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of conversation in the community going on about these explorations. And also we usually have a little contest. You fill out your bingo card and you submit it. And in December, it's fabulous because it's $100. So you can get a $100 Amazon card.
Yep. I think we're doing color by number instead of bingo this year, which should have some I'm excited to see what the kids do with the color by number as a little bit different for the game this year.
I love it. So as you do activities, you'll color spaces in, we'll post in the community, hey, come and share your pictures, and then you'll be able to, we'll just do a random drawing. We do not judge these. We just
No,
do a random. Somebody will win. Yeah. Dawn, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
it's fun. Thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody does with the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year. And I'm looking forward to just dusting off the old audiobook and push and play again. So it's always great for your homeschool.